Hiya! Welcome back to another scientific video. What am I going to do? Well, 0 to 60 octane power. I'm going to try some of this stuff, Petrol Booster. And I'm going to try it in the Citroen, because obviously this is a performance motor that needs high octane petroleum. So what does this do? Well, Redex Petrol Power Booster boosts power, boosts performance, and boosts combustion. The thing is I actually put high octane fuel in this car all the time. Now this isn't going to be, as ever, this isn't going to be a scientific test. This is going to be my opinion on it, and does it feel any better? You know what I mean? What you call it, my arse dyno, which is calibrated, obviously. So I'm going to put some petroleum in, and I'm at Tesco's. I usually use V-Power, but I'm at Tesco's, and Tesco Excellent, in my opinion, does seem to be decent stuff. So I'm going to put Tesco Excellence in, and I'm going to do something I never normally do as well. I'm going to put 20 quid's worth in, and I'm going to see how it runs, and then I'm going to compare it. I'm going to do a few miles, not many, because it's not going to change much. It's going to be what I'm used to, and then I'm going to add the full bottle to what's left, and I'm going to see if there is any difference. Now, octane wise isn't going to make a great deal of difference, because this car doesn't even need the octane that I'm putting in it. So as far as advancing and retarding timing and what have you, not really going to do much. But if it boosts combustion, you know, if it's more flammabilized, you know, more power in it, more calorific energy in it, don't know, might do something. We'll see, won't we? So anyway, let's put some fuel in. Yes, I don't think the fuel gauge has ever been so high. Anyway, so that's what we've put in. It's not Tesco Excellent, it's Tesco Momentum. Got the name wrong, and that is because when you're putting this in, when you purchase Tesco Momentum, you are purchasing extra momentum for your vehicle. Anyway, I'm going to drive around a little bit, because nothing's going to change with this, because, well, this fuel is just pretty much the same as what was in it anyway. So I'm going to drive a little bit before putting the booster in, and then I'm going to put the booster in, and then we'll see if that does anything at all. So let's start by doing that. Starts up lovely, peachy. So I've done a few miles, not a lot, on Tesco Momentums. And I've not put this in yet. Before I put that in, well, I'm going to see how it drives. I'm going to try and get in a 0 to 60 actually, see if there's any difference whatsoever. But I just want to mention that I only use 2 fuels really. More often than not, it's V-Power or Momentum. And this might be a placebo, it might be in my head, but I do feel that as far as petrol goes, the Tesco Momentum stuff is actually has the edge slightly. I mean, this, like I said, I mean, I've been told by people, oh yeah, these cars don't adjust the timing and all this lot. People are going to argue all that sort of stuff, but extra octane isn't going to make any difference. I'm not putting it down to octane. I'm putting it down to the fuel itself just burning better, really. Not that it, you know, resists to being pre-ignited more, and you can adjust the timing and, you know, advance the timing and stop pinking. I'm not putting anything down to that. It's just that it does feel a little bit more responsive on decent fuel. Anyway, now I've got that out of the way, let's go and try and get an 0 to 60 for thrilling viewing. So there's a 0 to 60 with just straight Tesco Momentum petrol. But as I've mentioned before, whenever I've tried better fuels or whatever, the main difference that I've noticed is actually at lower revs. So I'm going to also try a 40 mile an hour fourth gear pull, just to see, well, see if there's any difference there as well. So now I've done some comprehensive data gathering for this scientific tests. Let's be scientific about this as well. Right, it says use every tank, pour entire bottle into fuel tank. Before or after adding fuel? I'd say put it in before really, but I'm putting it in after. Yeah, a fuel tank on most cars is probably going to be 50 litres plus 70 litres. I don't, you know, bigger than this one. And I've only got about 15 litres of fuel in. Which means that I'm obviously just going to put it all in. And it's probably about, I don't know, 5 times the ratio as what it's meant to be at. So if it's going to work, it's going to work now, innit? And then we'll just give it an effective mix-up. And now we'll run it for a bit, let it run through. And yeah, we'll do the same tests, compare before and afters. What else can you do? So stay tuned for that. So I've done enough miles for it to run through now, and well, it's running great, running as good as it ever does. Not sure if it's any better. I mean, this is it's a whiplash inductor anyway. This car, the G-forces it produces, you put your foot down, it's as fast as you can hold onto the steering wheel. It's going to pin you back in the seat anyway. But for some reference, I mean, yeah, it feels nippy. It feels, I say, as good as it ever does do. So anyway, let's go and do a 0 to 60 in that 40 mile an hour pull, and well, at least it's something to compare then, isn't there? So there we have the afters, well, with the Redex. Honestly, I don't think I can tell any difference. I will put them side by side at the end of the video and see if there is any difference, but I've got to edit that and put them next, well, I'll do the split screen and all that bullshit. But yeah, I don't think that in this situation it's making any noticeable difference. Especially not £6 worth, because that's how much it cost. In other situations, if I was using shit fuel and added it, you know, using basic, you know, cheap fuel, then it might make some difference. Because I do feel that using decent fuel does make a little bit of difference over cheap fuel. And definitely, if it was a high performance vehicle, I mean, it is a high performance vehicle, we all know that, but you know, like if it were turboed, like I said, Octane booster. Higher octane of fuel is resistance to pre-ignition, which means that you can advance the timing further without causing pre-ignition. Pre-ignition is not how a diesel works effectively. It's not the compression causing the ignition. It's when the spark plug detonates the fuel, and instead of burning in an actual, you know, uniform pattern, the compression of the combustion causing further compression causes secondary combustions. That's what pre-ignition is in a petrol. If it was pre-igniting just from the, you know, from the actual compression of the engine, then you're not going to be able to do anything by changing the timing. But yeah, that isn't something that's helping with this vehicle that I can tell. So that is my conclusion. I might be proven wrong. Honestly, I might be proven wrong. I've not done the side-by-sides yet, but I'm going to put them up in a minute. And then maybe when I do put the side-by-sides up, we'll be able to tell if there's any difference or not. Unlike the Citroen booster, when I tested that, and someone actually commented saying that they'd learnt nothing by watching it, which, brilliant. Anyway, yeah, like I said, that's it for this one. Side-by-sides are coming up at the end when I finish talking. Don't forget to comment, give us a like, subscribe if you want. You know, there's plenty of other shit videos on this channel. And I'll see you next time. Peace out, bruv.